Hi, I'm Tom Scott. You know, it's a great accomplishment in anyone's musical career to compose the score for a major motion picture. I've been fortunate enough to experience that on over a dozen feature films, and I take some pride in that. However, there was one movie in which I could have become the film's composer, but chose to bow out instead. The movie was Barbra Streisand's A Star is Born. Well, here's how she got to know me. In 1974, I wrote some arrangements for her album called Butterfly. The most memorable song for me was a Graham Nash tune called I Am a Simple Man. The arrangement consisted of a small chamber group, piano, harp, and cello, and Barbra. Being in the same room as this tune was being recorded live was an amazing and unforgettable experience. As a well-known studio singer once said to me, Barbra Streisand has the best set of vocal cords God ever bestowed on a human being. I guess Barbra had been impressed by my work. The following year, I received a call from my film agent, Al Bart. He shocked me by saying he'd been offered a deal for me to compose the score for the upcoming movie A Star is Born. Barbra and singer-songwriter Paul Williams, with whom I had also previously recorded, were collaborating on songs for the upcoming movie in which Barbra was both executive producer and star. It was requested that I meet with the two of them at Barbra's residence in Beverly Hills. When the day came, I drove to the address I'd been given and parked in the driveway of her palatial home. She ushered me into her huge living room. Paul Williams was also there. I said hi to him and took a seat on the grand piano bench. Barbra and Paul resumed their discussion of the love song they were writing for the movie. It was called Evergreen. She sang a bit of it sitting on a large floor pillow, accompanying herself on the acoustic guitar. As it had been a year earlier, I was again awestruck by the sound of that gorgeous voice. As the meeting went on, Barbra and Paul kept playing verbal one-upsmanship with one another, while I sat at the piano waiting to be helpful in some way, or any way at all, really. An uneasy feeling came over me. Will I have to sit around and watch these two people spar with one another for the next who knows how many months? Also, I'd been told that once you were in Barbra's employ, you were basically a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week consultant. It was not unusual, I had heard, to get a wake-up call in the middle of the night to discuss something. This was an extremely unpleasant prospect. Plus the fact that I would be giving up any other projects, including my own solo albums and other composing assignments, for a very long time. Was it worth the money and credit to see this project through to its conclusion? Would the mental and emotional price be too high? It didn't take long for me to decide. I put in a call to my agent. Al, I said, what do I have to do to get off this picture? I get the feeling I'm going to regret having committed to it. In fact, I could very well need to be committed by the time it's over. Al replied, well, Tom, if you really want out, we're going to have to create a reason that cannot be challenged. God forbid, he continued, you make your objections about the fee or the hours, because then you run the risk of them calling you back and saying, okay, we agree to your terms. You've got a deal. So we discussed how I might best frame my objection in a way that was totally non-negotiable. Al called them with the following message. Tom just doesn't feel right about it. It was an honor to be asked, but he just doesn't think it's for him. And thus I obtained my release from A Star is Born. Over a year later, I received a call to play on a recording session for the film's underscore. The film was completed, and I was curious about what hardships my replacements had endured. So I said, sure, I'll do it. I arrived at A&M Studio A the next day, hoping to get an answer to the question. During a pause in the recording, I asked composer-conductor Kenny Asher, who was one of the replacements, so how was it with Barbra? With a straight face, he replied, well, do you remember the ending of the previous version of Star is Born, when James Mason walks into the ocean? Well, in this version, the entire cast and crew walk into the ocean. Well, I thought that was pretty funny, but at the same time, I do feel compelled to defend Barbra, who is often correctly portrayed as highly opinionated and sometimes difficult to work with. However, given her spectacular decades-long career, she is also deserving of a tremendous amount of respect. Incidentally, she didn't hold it against me, I guess, that I backed out of her movie. Here I am in 2005 with Barry Gibb, James Brolin, and Barbra, at the Sony recording stage for the video recording of the tune Hideaway, in which I make a brief but vital cameo appearance. It's on my video playlist if you want to check it out.